to us from 1 John 3:16a. For God so loved the world, he gave. 2 Corinthians. The point is this: the one who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and the one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Each of you must give as you have been made up your mind, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance, so that by always having enough of everything, you may share abundantly in every good work. By contrast, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, patience, peace, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There is no law against such things.
The call came in the middle of the night. It was around 2 or 2:30 in the morning. Call for a taxi. Driver went to a little fourplex out on the edge of the city. It was dark except for one light in a window. As Kent Nurburn tells the story, he said at first he wondered if he should just go on. He said most cab drivers would have stopped and honked a couple of times because it wasn't a very comfortable area. He was a little unsure. But for some reason he decided to go to the door. He walked up to the door where the light was on, and he knocked on the door. For God so loved the cosmos, God gave. Many of you are familiar with the verse, John 3:16. You're probably saying, wait a minute, finish it, John. Well, we often go to the second part. We say, oh, isn't that the important part? I really wonder if the first part isn't more significant. For God so loved, God gave. God gave. God gives. Giving is so important, so significant. God gives. I have this thesis. My thesis is that giving is built into the very essence, the very fabric of creation and evolution. I've been all over the internet this week trying to prove this thesis. So far I haven't proved it. But I still think it's true. Now don't go to school and answer a science test and say, well, giving is in the very formation of evolution. That may not be a good answer, but I still think it's accurate. That's just what I believe. I think giving is a part of who we are. But the reality is, absolutely every one of us are takers. Every one of us are takers. We have to be takers. We wouldn't be alive if we didn't take. We know how to receive. We are receivers, every one of us. Takers. Since we know how to receive, since we take, that means we're also givers. Giving is tremendously important. Okay, we're set up now, John. We're ready. Talk to us about how much we have to give to the church. You know, the old spiel. Okay, everybody, think about your pledge this year. Think about your giving. Think about increasing 80 or 90% again this year over what you gave last year, just like you did the year before. No, I'm just exaggerating. 20% is good. Giving. Difficult subject. Giving feels good. I would have a hunch every one of us enjoy giving. And I would say many of us have repeated the phrase, well, if I had enough, I'd give more. You know, there's always that, well, I'm not sure. can I really afford to give much more? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe it was something to do with this. No. I thought maybe it was an emergency. Okay.
Depending on your definition of emergency.
Well,
Let me get you off track. Sorry.
yeah, okay. No. How can I get off track when I'm not on? Every one of us enjoy giving. But do we have enough? Can we afford to give? I don't know about you, but as I grow older, I keep worrying about, am I going to outlive my money? You go in and check that retirement fund, if you even have one. A lot of people don't even have a retirement fund. You say, well, my goodness, how am I going to afford to pay for long-term care? Who's going to pay for this? How are we going to get along? What about our insurance? You say, well, if I have enough, I give. But the reality is, we probably all do have enough, and giving's important. And yeah, the church needs people to give financially. Your time, your talents, your gifts. What happens when you give to the Rose Hill United Methodist Church? Well, part of the money goes to keep the lights on, have a building. Speaking of having a building, I've been going through some old records, and I'm really kind of flabbergasted. I mean, you guys are awesome. I knew that. Known that since the first time I was here. But you guys are awesome. Did you know at one time, this church owed over $900,000? And now our loan's a little over $300,000. Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's wonderful. Thank you. I couldn't believe that when I saw that number. Wait a minute, I'm not reading right. I saw it more than one place. Look at what you've done. So part of the money goes for that. Part of it goes to pay staff. Let's see, what was the Dennis the Menace joke that somebody told me this morning? Dennis is putting some money in the plate and see if the service no good, do I get a refund? Doesn't work that way. And I will have you know, I asked for a raise for the staff this year. A little bit of a raise, not nearly enough. Certainly not as much as they're worth. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. They kicked me out while the staff already talked about it. So, and money goes to support the conference, our administration, other ministries. Money also goes to help people. People's lives right here in Rose Hill. Because of your gifts, we have a place, we have a facility, we have a beautiful kitchen. We can have a meal this Wednesday night. We can invite people here. We can welcome them, host them, offer food, and have a fundraising project to help some families that really need our help. What you give helps us do that. Your giving also reaches people's lives. Tomorrow night, we'll have people lined up outside our door. They're going to walk in the door. We're going to give them a sack of food. And sometimes we say, well, should we be doing that? Is it really helping people? I don't know, but we got a letter from a woman in El Dorado this week. And she said, "Dear Rose Hill United Methodist Church, thank you so much for the food you give me and my family. Yes, I'm on disability. I'm trying to take care of my grandson, and you help us get by." Right now, because of what you give, Part of that giving you put in our offering plate goes to touch people's lives and other parts of the world. You have a presence in Africa this morning. Somebody's in Africa caring for people who are seeking to improve their life as they find clean water and grow their own food. Not are we just offering them help, we're offering them guidance and direction. And right now, at this very moment, you are present in Palestine. A part of our giving is supporting a United Methodist missionary working in Palestine, offering help, compassion, and care for people who are hurting. There are refugees running out of the Middle East. United Methodist Church is there, offering as much help as we can because of your giving. God, what you give makes a difference, a huge difference. But what about this giving? I ran across a new book. It's by Adam Grant. The title of the book is Give and Take: Why Helping Others Drives Our Success. Dr. Grant said there are basically three kinds of people: givers, takers, and matchers. We all know what a taker is, somebody who seems to only want more and more for themselves. We're all familiar with takers. Of course, none of us fall in that category, but we do know people like that. We also know a lot of people, and probably a lot of us, are matchers. Matchers are people who work quid pro quo, reciprocity. You give me X, I'll give you back X. You know, they're trying to keep things equal, trying to keep things balanced. Givers, according to Dr. Grant, are people who not just give money, but give their support, their presence, their time, their talents, their help to other people. Givers are always encouraging and trying to make other people's lives better. In his studies, he found that givers often seem not to do very well. For the short term. But when you look at the long arch of history, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. used to like to say it, over the long arch of history, givers almost always come out well. The Apostle Paul wrote about this in 2 Corinthians. He said, as you sow, so you shall reap. And sometimes we like to think, oh, well, if I give a lot, then I should get a lot. No. If giving becomes the way you live, if caring for others becomes your focus, you will be so blessed you won't be able to handle it. Actually, I think each one of us probably have all three. I think all of us are probably givers, takers, and matchers in some way at some level. But as I reflect on this, I'm working a lot harder to think, how can I be more giving? How can I offer more help, more encouragement to other people? Giving, I think, is the very essence, the very fabric of creation and evolution. We all live in a symbiotic relationship. Every one of us live with give and take. In this very moment, we're experiencing give and take. We take in oxygen. We give out carbon dioxide so that the plants in our tower gardens can grow. I heard a story this week about ocean coral, that little organism that lives on our reefs that's really struggling, dying out. The story I heard this week is that now they've discovered suntan lotion, or at least some kinds of suntan lotion, kill coral. But they were talking about coral lives in a symbiotic relationship with algae. That's what gives it its color. And yet, it's a mutual relationship. We all need each other. We all need the universe. We all need creation. It's a give and take. And giving is the very fact